You know what, Dale? I think a lot of people look at us and think, oh wow, the beauty queen journey. Where's my crown? I have it out here somewhere. I must
You have it?
you see?
Of course you do somewhere.
Where
Mine's
is
in my
it?
office.
I I don't know where, but I was in such a whirlwind today. But it's somewhere in here. Can you believe that? I was making fun of it yesterday, but I'm proud of it. But you made a comment because, take us back to rural Mississippi and growing up and how much the opportunity of competition meant to you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I grew up at Route 3, Box 89, Eupora, Mississippi. And just for kicks and giggles, the last time I went home, I asked Siri to direct me to Route 3, Box 89, Eupora, Mississippi. And Siri said to me, I'm sorry, I do not know where that is. And I'm like, neither does anyone else. And so I grew up 10 miles out in the country from this little town of Eupora, 2,000 people. And, Jane, I wasn't brave like you and Cheryl to compete when I was in my, teens and 20s. I think I competed twice. I was the Farm Bureau queen, but that was only because Daddy was in the Farm Bureau. That is the only reason. There were only two girls in that, so they gave it to me because Daddy was in Farm Bureau. And then I did compete in America's National Teenager. You get the little letter in the mail that says you've been selected to compete. And my mama made me a little white eyelet dress. And if there was 50 girls, I came in 55th. I mean, I was so shy, so insecure. This is before I was indoctrinated with these life principles that I learned from Cheryl. And so I competed a couple of times, but y'all, fast forward, I waited until I was in my late 20s. I already had a baby. And what I was doing, Jane, was I was doing some private coaching for girls that were entering pageants, but only with interview. And because I'd learned from Cheryl to let your light shine and be real. And I just want to teach these girls not to be fake, just be real. And you
Right.
know what these little girls said to me? Miss Dale, how can you teach us anything? You ain't ever won anything. I'm
Oh,
like, really?
darn.
That's with your outside voice that you said that to me. So they brought me an application to Mrs. Tennessee. Now, here was my thought process, Jane. I had how old was he? He might have been 12, 13 months old. He was little. And I thought, if I could win this pageant, I can go from $20 an hour to $25 an hour. That's what I thought. I can stay home with my baby and we can buy groceries. And so I showed up at that pageant expecting that women at that age, 28 with kids, they ain't nobody going to show up and do that. There
Yeah,
were
yeah.
55 women competing.
No.
Yes, bigger than the national. And listen, when I pulled up, and I teach everybody that comparison is the thief of joy. I can't look at
Yeah,
you and all your beautiful talent, Jane, and compare myself to you because that just takes my eyes off what I'm supposed to do, which is be my best. So
right,
if
right,
y'all
right.
are listening to us right now, comparison is the thief of joy. Whatever you're
I,
comparing yourself to, stop it. Just stop it.
and
So you
also,
know what?
Dale, to interject this, when we have children, we that really robs our joy to look at
Yes.
Susie Q down the road with the perfect children, that you meet up with at the grocery store and you just want to run, hide, and cry. But you are right. It is a comparison through your life's journey. It
Through your
is.
life. Well, I knew that, but I wasn't practicing that day.
Mhm.
So I got out of the car walking into the Opryland Hotel, and this woman drives up in the car bigger than my mom and daddy's house. I promise you, it was a huge old car. And so she gets out and she starts strolling to the door. And I was like, oh dear Jesus, please don't let that girl be in this pageant. And so I just walked up to her and tapped her on the shoulder and I said, excuse me, who are you? What are you here for? She said with a hair toss, my name is Angelique Richardson, and I am here for the Mrs. Tennessee pageant. I turned to my husband and I said, you get my stuff. We leaving now. And he said, I can't believe you tell all your girls, don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself. And here you are comparing yourself. I said, the only thing, Jane, that you can say at that point to a husband, you say, shut up. stop it. Well, maybe that's why he's the starter husband. Y'all get there in a minute. He's the starter husband. That was the starter husband.
Starter
That's
husband.
just a positive way to say X. My starter husband.
I
Well,
love that.
I went on in there and tried to practice my faith and tried to just believe myself into this. They
Yeah.
told us if you made the top 5, you didn't have to do the dance number. So I practiced my faith and didn't learn it. This is not a good plan. This is not a good plan. I made the top 15. I was so scared of not making the top 15. I was afraid I was going to have to go to $15 an hour if I didn't make the top 15. I jumped so high that I almost busted the butt out of the dress I had borrowed when I made the top 15. The judges are looking at me like, does she know this is just the top 15? Well, I made the top 15. That's as far as I got. And my little girls were going, you did so good. And I'm like, yeah, y'all lied to me now. But the second year I went back, still 50-something women. I came in second runner-up. Third year, I am 30 years old with a 3-year-old. And I went in a little bit different, Jane, because I think when you walk into a competition like that, it's real easy to get lost and try to be what you think they want you to be.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I just decided I was going to be full out me, this accent, all of it. And if they loved it, they loved it. And if they didn't, they didn't. And y'all listen to us right now. We are HBBQs, has been beauty queens. And all that means is that was our vehicle. Jeannie had that vehicle too. This was just our vehicle to get to where we were supposed to be in life. It doesn't make us any different than anybody else. Maybe a little crazier because we competed in a pageant with swimsuit and high heels, but maybe we a little crazier, but that's how we got there. And I just decided this was my last year, and I was blessed enough to win in 1990, and that is how my speaking career started. People started asking me to speak, and I started telling stories about growing up poor in Mississippi, about learning that it's your decisions that determine your destiny, not your conditions. So that was my path to the crown.